Well, as the online retail space grows, so does the fight over online sales taxes. Internet-only sites aren't always required to charge state sales tax like brick-and-mortar stores are, a loophole that my next guest says is threatening American jobs and entrepreneurship. Joining me now, Michael Kercheval. He is the CEO of the International Council of Shopping Centers. Michael, this argument has been going on for a long time. Many brick-and-mortar stores say that they are now showrooms for Amazon. But it's legal, and this is the system as set up now. How can you argue with the legalities of where we are right now?
Well, I think where we are right now is we can't go through another holiday season where there's not a level playing field between the brick-and-mortar retailers and the pure play out-of-state online retailers. And
but it's business, and it's if it drives consumption, that's better for the economy, no?
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. If it drives consumption and creates jobs, it's good for the economy. But what's not right, what's not fair, is there's this apparent price inequity because the pure play online out-of-state retailers are not required to collect sales taxes, even though the consumer is required to pay them.
But if Amazon has, for example, completely hypothetical here, a distribution center in Florida, which actually they do, but that's jobs in Florida. Why is that a bad thing?
Well, if Amazon has a nexus in a state, they are required to collect sales taxes. And that's part of the legislation, not legislation, it's a Supreme Court decision that's over 2 decades old.
Okay.
If you have a nexus in the state, you're required to collect sales taxes if you sell to consumers in that state. If you're out of the state and selling to consumers in that state, the state that you're selling to does not have the right to ask the retailer to collect sales taxes from the consumer on the state's behalf.
But most states do now, though, have some form of, not brick and mortar, but at least some form of office or I go back to distribution just for shipping reasons, correct?
Yeah,
I mean,
no, that's not true. Most states do not. And there are some states who have passed legislation. You mentioned California, Texas, some of those states. What really needs to be put in place is a federal solution so you don't have this patchwork quilt. That hurts business. If you're a businessman trying to figure out all of the different state regulations.
Real quick, what's a fair number? If it was a national number, what would it be? Fair number?
Of
sales tax, yeah. What would you charge?
Well, I don't
5%,
think that
6%, 7%?
You know, I don't think it really matters as long as it's charged and collected from all different retailers.
All right, make it.
You know, I think at the end of the day, it's all about competition. And yes, about price, but it also has to be about convenience and quality and service. And that's how retailers ought to be competing.
All right. Well, we follow the retail names, obviously, from a stock perspective. Michael Kercheval, thank you very much, Michael. Good to have you on the show.
Thank you.
All right, Dennis, over to you.
Okay. How would 0% online tax be? I like that number. So, Nokia